Hikaru, that was an incredible final game, but also you had a really good run throughout. But despite that, in the very last final game, things was very uncertain still. Were you aware of the situation and the tournament standings? What were your feelings going into this last game with Anish?
Well, first of all, I assumed that I would be in even if I lost this game against Anish, just because of the fact that I had won two games, or I think yeah, I'd won two games. So I thought even if I lost, I should be in. But that being said, of course, there's no need to make it as dramatic as I did with this game against Magnus. But yeah, overall, I thought my play was pretty good. I was not very happy with the game against Magnus or this final game for that matter, but overall, it was pretty good.
Absolutely, and you've always been at the very, top of the leaderboard. Never looked like you were in any real big trouble of making into the quarters. Now, Hikaru, this format that we've had here is being discussed everywhere. It's being discussed on chat, on social media. Just simply this approach that the players have had in the middle of playing safe, agreeing for draws, keeping their position solid. What's your take on this format? And did you also feel the most important thing was just to not take too many chances in the quarterfinals? In the preliminaries.
Yeah, I mean, I think first of all, because of the format with the qualification to the next tournament, that plays a very big role. Because if it's just a one-off tournament where if you're in the top eight, you make it through to the quarters, I think you might see people being a bit more aggressive. But I think the fact that it's a qualification to the next tournament as well plays a huge role in terms of the way that people have played. So I think perhaps that maybe that should have been changed before the event started, where it wasn't automatic qualification. Because when you have a situation like that where you're playing for not just one tournament, two tournaments at least, I think it lends itself to people being much more conservative. That being said, I think regardless, I probably still would have played the same way, even if it was just a one-off. Because the goal is to get into top eight, and then once you're there, you can kind of you take your chances if they come. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty pleased with how I've played throughout these events with the various formats.
And Hikaru, with the game starting at 6 a.m. for you, we were thinking this would be a challenge for Wesley as well as yourself with the timing. Did you feel that? How were you coping with that?
Well, I think first of all, I was very fortunate that in the first round of every day, I got I had two games which were pretty smooth. The game against Wesley, which was like just theory, and then the game today, where I basically won out of the opening. And the first day against Sasha, I also got a really good position. So I think in general, I was very fortunate that the first round of the day, I had pretty good positions on all 3 days. I think that played a role. But beyond that, I think I would say, as far as Wesley and myself are concerned, we're probably the only two chess players I can think of who are morning people for the most part. So I think that also helps us a lot in terms of having these early rounds.
Right. And now we're going to go into the knockout stages, which are a completely different format. It goes into match play. You've been playing the round robin stage. It's also a very different strategy. Just tell us a little bit about what is the big change that comes with these two different formats in the same event?
Well, I mean, I actually don't think it's too different. It's just that you end up playing against you play against the same player in a knockout format versus, say, playing someone different every single game in the qualification. So for the most part, I think the format is the same. You try to be solid, and if you have your opportunities or your chances, you try to take advantage and win when you get those good positions. So not a whole lot changes for me in general. So yeah, that's what it is.
All right, and finally, Hikaru, we do have news that you will be playing Levon in the quarters match. Your first reaction to that, first instincts to that?
Well, I don't think it really matters. I didn't really want to play Magnus in the first round, probably, and I think there was actually I don't know how realistic that was, but I think there certainly was a chance of that happening, at least going to this last round. So, how am I playing Levon? Did he lose or something?
Yes, he lost to David. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Because I thought he was somewhere in the middle. So to finish seventh, or actually, what am I? I'm seventh. I'm second, right?
We're gonna get the standings up, but we do have confirmation. You are third. You finished third.
Third. So who is second?
Wesley second.
Okay. Huh.
So
okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the tie breaks are, but at any rate,
it's direct encounters and then direct encounter and then number of wins.
Right. I guess actually that doesn't really matter whether I'm second or third in the general sense, because I think that means that in the semis, Wesley and I play, and Magnus plays whoever is number 4, I assume, assuming we all win, obviously. But But I actually, now that I think about it, that doesn't change a whole lot. But yeah, playing Levon, I mean, I played him in I forget which event it was. I think it was Lindor's, if I remember correctly. It feels like a lifetime ago now. And it was a very close, very tense match. So it's going to be fun playing against Lev, because it feels like it's been a long time. So I'm just looking forward to playing him.
We're very excited to watch that matchup, and it's been a good birthday year so far. Good turning 33. You won the Speed Chess Championship. That was incredible to watch. Congratulations on that win as well, and a smooth qualification into this one. So well done, Hikaru and Peter. Your questions?
Yeah, well, I mean, congratulations, Hikaru, one more time. I mean, when I heard that you have to play at 6 a.m., I was wondering, yeah, how you're going to cope with it. But I mean, you have been really impressive. And you said that it helped that in the first games, you were always in control. Can you just quickly tell us about today's first game against Anton, that what was your preparation, or how did you get this great position?
Yeah, so I mean, it was very weird, because if you go to Rook C8 on move 13, I mean, this is all I think known. But my guess is that when David Anton played Rook C8 here, he had only looked at knight takes C6 and not knight to D6. And I think the problem is this was a rapid game. So after knight to D6, Black is completely fine with Rook C7. But I think that he just missed it on knight takes C6, Rook takes C6, Bishop C6. There's knight B8. I think he simply missed this tactic. And if you don't see this tactic and you start using like 5-6 minutes, I think it's very easy to panic and then just look for some sort of tactical solution instead. And unfortunately, I just don't think there is a tactical solution. I think it's just down a pawn and he has no compensation. So I suspect he had looked at Rook C8, but he hadn't looked at knight D6. And then in a rapid game, he probably looked for a couple of minutes. He's like Rook C7, knight C6, and he didn't see knight B8. So he started looking for some sort of tactical solution, and it all went horribly wrong.
Yeah, okay, now we understand. Yeah, because we missed this early action, and afterwards we just saw that, yeah, you have a wonderful position, it should be winning, and you went on to win that very smoothly. Then okay, you had this tough loss to Magnus, which was completely unnecessary. I will not ask you there, and please.
No, but I mean, I do want to say one thing about that game, though, because basically I thought throughout, I mean, I was kind of shaky. It wasn't a great game, but really the problem is that if you keep going to the moment when I played Bishop C4 on move 46 after Rook B1. Like, the thing is that basically I have Bishop C6 here, which draws, but the problem was during the game, Bishop C4, Rook B7, A6 was my idea, and I thought I'd just bring the king over, and it's a very easy draw, and I just completely overlooked it after A6, there's Rook C7.
And so okay, so it was a one-move blunder, yeah?
Yeah, and so then this set me off a little bit, and then it's still probably a draw with correct play, but already I'm a little bit annoyed because I thought, I mean, I calculated A6 and just king E6 and easy draw. So, I mean, it was still a draw with some Bishop D3, I think, but yeah, I mean, this was very unnecessary, of course. But again, if I don't lose this game, I probably end up drawing on Ish in a much different manner of speaking. So it's all relative.
Yeah, and then please take us through this game, because I felt like it was very, very interesting, knowing that you are one of the players who are very, very good in this King's Indian attack with the white pieces. On the other hand, you only needed a draw. So what was your take, that you wanted to play these ED5 structures and say, no, I don't want to checkmate you, my friend, now? I will keep that for later.
Yeah, I was pretty upset with the opening, because I mean, in a game where you just want to play normal chess, playing King's Indian attack is not really what you're hoping for, with all the pieces on the board and being very complicated. So that's why I just took on D5, and I don't know if it's right, but I thought with this H6 move, instead of playing some kind of B5 right away, it seemed quite natural to go for this. And I thought it was just completely fine here, but I was pretty upset because when I played. I should not have played Bishop E3. I thought this was completely unnecessary, basically. Yeah. Like here, I should just go D4, and probably it's just very simplified, and I should never have any issues. But the problem is in the game after knight A6 D4. I mean, Bishop E3 looks natural. I think there's knight A5 here, and I was really hoping that Anish would not find it, because I think after knight A5, it's completely fine for Black. And pieces kind of stay on the board here as well, so I don't think there should ever be any issues.
Yeah, I can understand you, because this knight on b6 is such a lovely piece. Yeah, if the opponent exchanges it, then yeah, things can get out of control. I mean, you are at least not in your complete comfort zone.
Right, because I mean, my thought was when I played bishop e3 and d4, I thought, okay, it's simplifying is to take on d4, and then I mean, I should not ever lose this game. I mean, maybe Anish can play precisely and draw, but it becomes very simplified in a way where it's very hard to make any blunders and lose the game. So I was pretty annoyed when I saw knight a5, but Anish, fortunately, he didn't see that move. And then I think the rest was, I mean, it was just very, very dry. I mean, probably could have played it differently than he did. Maybe, yeah, like here after queen f3. I mean, he should probably just play knight c5, but again, it's going to lead to something where everything comes off. We trade it all off. I go b3 and rook d1, and I mean, or even I don't even have to take c5, even rook d1. And I mean, I think black can draw this, but Anish had to win the game to qualify, so this is not what you're going to aim for.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to praise you for this queen f3 because you kind of almost blitzed it out. And then we first thought, wow, what is this? It looks like after black played the move rook d8, he can grab the pawn on c4. And then we discovered this rook c1, rook c6 idea. I mean, it was wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't sure it was working, but I just assumed it had to be fine.
Yeah, and then, okay, you had complete domination, right?
Right, exactly, yeah. So... yeah, I mean, at this point, it's very difficult. And I mean, I actually misplayed this too, because after rook d8, I think bishop a7 is just winning the game. I think it's actually close to just lost. If I go bishop a7, because of bishop f6, I just go a5, bishop b2, a6, and I mean, I think it just wins on the spot.
Yeah, we had this on our board. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it looked very bad for black.
Yeah, but then I took it with the rook, and then after bishop f6, I mean, again, it's still probably better, but... whether it's winning, I'm not sure. But I think this endgame actually was... I was kind of surprised by how Anish played this, because I think this actually should be a draw somewhere. Okay, so yeah, so you keep going. Yeah, I thought the way he played this was very good. King g8 takes. Yeah, knight c6, all good. Yeah, knight d4, all good. Yeah, queen b8, king h7, queen f8. Yeah, and I mean, this position, I'm sure is a draw with correct play. I don't know if he should play f6, e5. Actually, I think just f6, e5, and rook b5. And I mean, it's very hard for me to believe that this isn't a fortress.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, but I mean, queen f8, we talked about this, that queen f8 is practically such an annoying move, yeah, because you have to make a decision which you don't want to do from the black side.
Right, exactly, yeah. So I mean, I think if black goes f6, e5, it should be a fortress. But again, you know, it's very hard at this point when you know your chances of qualifying are sort of gone. I mean, because Anish is never going to win this position. If he plays very precisely, he can probably make a draw. But considering the draw, it doesn't matter. I think it's very hard psychologically to keep trying to defend and play the best moves when you know that all the opportunity is gone.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, it was a very smooth last round for you, I have to say, because you had everything under control. You got a dream opening. At the beginning, I also was wondering, yeah, this kings in the attack, it's not what you really dream of in your situation, but then 2 moves later, you got the dream, and then you had everything under control.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so I mean, it all worked out, so it's all good.
Congratulations, Hikaru, and we look forward to a big fight with Levon starting tomorrow. And thank you for your time and always being so gracious with interviews.
No problem. Have a good day.
Yeah,
guys.
thanks a lot and good luck. Bye.